right, here's that cell phone story you've been waiting for. Cell phone users beware, Big Brother may be listening. The Federal Bureau of Investigation can now hear everything you say, even when the cell phone is turned off. I know it sounds kind of out there, but using your phone's tracking device, authorities can now activate the microphone inside the dreaded thing, allowing them to eavesdrop on you and your conversations.
They told the American people the air was safe to breathe.
I will promise you this, that if we have not gotten our troops out by the time I am president, it is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
Well, President Obama has ordered 17,000 more American troops to Afghanistan. It's the first stage of a build-up that will eventually see 60,000 U.S. troops deployed to the country.
The U.S. president has revealed his plan for Afghanistan, escalating the war at the fastest possible pace.
It is in our vital national interest to send an additional 30,000 U.S. troops to Afghanistan.
Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, I'm sorry, this section is classified.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's bulletproof skin, created from genetically engineered spider milk? What?
Newtownot police call it bullying on steroids. We're talking about gang stalking.
I am a targeted individual, and I am being stalked and harassed by different people everywhere I go.
All right, scientists over in Japan have developed new technology that will allow them to see inside your mind.
I'm here tonight to spread awareness about telepathic impersonation technology.
Yes, it sounds like a horror movie. Innocent families terrorized in their own homes by a group of anonymous hackers.
Yeah, this is an incredible story. Imagine somebody hearing everything that you say, seeing everything that you do, and using that information to threaten your children's lives.
Yes! Yes!
Why?
Totally awesome.
He didn't approach him.
Nothing I did in Iraq was courageous. I brought fear into people's homes. I traveled with a .50 caliber weapon every single day and slept with a pistol underneath my pillow. Tell me what is so courageous about that.
Dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified.
Hey, Martha, remember when zombies became immortalized in the movie Night of the Living Dead? Well, now the CDC has kind of resurrected zombies, no pun intended, to try and educate people about diseases and disasters. The CDC offering tips on how to avoid a zombie apocalypse.
Well, the state has laws against stalking on the books, making it a felony.
But what if police don't recognize it? And what if it's a complete stranger who's bothering you?
I don't know if everybody out there is familiar with the term COINTELPRO or gang stalking, but I definitely am a victim. If you get a chance, check out some of the websites on Google that you can find. There aren't many though because they get disappeared daily.
Question about some of the technology that you're developing to fight the war on terror, specifically directed energy and high-powered microwave technology. When do you envision that you can weaponize that type of technology?
Goodness, it is in, for the most part, the kinds of things you're talking about are in varying early stages. Do you want to give anything you'd add?
I don't think I would add much. I think they are in early stages and probably not ready for employment at this point.
But you sound like you're willing to experiment with it.
I think that's the point, and I think, and we have, I think, from the beginning of this conflict, I think General Franks has been very open to looking at new things if there are new things available, and has been willing to put them into the fight.
This subject is important because a lot of people are vulnerable to this and have no idea this technology exists.
I know for a fact that somebody was influencing my dreams last year in October because they were zapping my body at the same time that they would, like, when I was sleeping, when I go to sleep at night, they would, like, send me an image and then they'd zap my body. to like coincide with the image. So I knew somebody was using technology against.
After 4 months of harassing phone calls, Heather and Courtney Kuykendall were afraid to answer their cell phones.
You are so dead.
The graphic, violent threats came at all hours, forcing the family to change their cell phone numbers. But even that didn't work.
The YouTube video under review by the Phoenix Police Department is just over 3 minutes long, but the police takedown of a 15-year-old girl is over in seconds. The powerful impact of this quick hit has prompted an internal investigation.
And I tried hard to be proud of my service, but all I could feel was shame. And racism could no longer mask the reality of the occupation. These were people, these were human beings. I've since been plagued by guilt anytime I see an elderly man, like the one who couldn't walk, who he rolled onto a stretcher and told the Iraqi police to take him away.
Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified.
The covert crimes, the family says, include intense microwave radiation aimed at the house. That explains the metal panels.
I would say that since we've noticed the temperature difference in our house go down.
I want to tell you how I was selected as a targeted individual. My uncle, Colonel Benjamin Leach, USAF, was stationed in San Antonio, Texas. At the time, the Nazi scientists were brought to the U.S. by President Harry F. Truman. My uncle objected to the Manhattan Project. Therefore, his family was selected for experimentation.
William Walker Atkinson. This is a book that came out in 1908, Practical Mind Reading, a course of lessons on thought transference.
Certain brain patterns corresponds to certain thoughts, a dictionary of thinking.
And apparently this guy, William Walker Atkinson, is the guy who really popularized the idea of the law of attraction way back 100 years ago.
How did it start?
Well, it seemed to start with her cell phone, and it spread almost as a virus. It sent out text messages to about 25 contacts in her phone.
I feel guilt anytime I see a mother with her children, like the one who cried hysterically and screamed that we are worse than Saddam as we forced her from her home.
This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified.
For the past 20 years, my wife Evie and I have been the victims of criminal activities perpetrated by a small network of individuals who are out to destroy us personally, professionally, and financially.
Hi, this is Sharonda Jackson. It's official. I've been a TI for a little over a year and I'm getting death threats, so I just want everybody to pray for me. And always, if you're in this situation, number one is keep faith in Christ and hope. And that's it. Goodbye.
If we start at the back of the brain, we've switched off my visual cortex, so made me unable to see things. If we move a little bit forward in the brain, we've interfered with people's ability and my ability to see faces. A little bit further forward, we've interfered with the ability to perform action.
Because as a targeted individual and mind control victim, my mind is often tampered with and my memory at times controlled.
They said they were going, to rape her.
The Kuykendalls were featured on NBC's Today Show after anonymous stalkers literally took control of the family's cell phones and began following their every move.
Hey, Miss Sarah, you all right? What y'all do now?
I feel guilt anytime I see a young girl, like the one I grabbed by the arm and dragged into the street.
Or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first.
He said for the last year and a half, he's been systematically followed by a group of people. At one point, he said they climbed on his roof to harass him.
I am a victim of electromagnetic microwave frequency harassment. I am being physically tortured every day.
I am a victim of electronic torture, surveillance, and wiretapping.
It just felt like I was getting physically tortured, and I couldn't stop them.
Think of Guantanamo Bay and the question of interrogating terrorists. We can now, in the future, be able to think about reading a terrorist's mind without using coercive tactics.
If I've been tortured hundreds, maybe even thousands of times.
Because I knew I was being attacked. I mean, they were electrocuting me in my bed.
It quickly made me think of how CIA torture, they don't like to leave marks. They like to make it so it doesn't, there's no evidence, physical evidence that you were tortured.
When it got most scary for me, if I was in your family, is when it seemed like they're not only hacking into your conversations, they can see what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the night you were all watching American Idol, like most families do in this country.
Yeah, we were sitting in our living room, and my husband was on his cell phone, and so the camera phone would have been facing the couch that I was sitting at with my two young children. My son was eating top ramen covered in a blanket.
The noodles.
Yeah. And they described the blanket my son was covered in. They said they wanted a bite of his top ramen, and they said what?
Scare the heck out of you.
They said the color of my 10-year-old daughter's shirt, and they even said what it said, like a Roxy shirt, and told my husband to stop writing on the yellow legal pad.
The whole time. Stomach down. Turn on your stomach now. Don't move.
Yeah, it is. We were told we were fighting terrorists. The real terrorist was me, and the real terrorism is this occupation.
Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above, in such event as classified spewing, classified escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable.
Well, we genetically engineered the goats so that they produce the spider silk protein in their milk.
Cynthia Verbeff is moving. Her home, she says, has become a house of horrors. She suffered months of oddness.
Coming in through the front door, and I touch the doorknob, and it just falls into pieces.
Lights left on, doors open, furniture moved, her clothes dryer disassembled. Her friends say they noticed the strange happenings. They tell the I-Team they even witnessed a gas oven left turned on.
I'm a very patriotic person, always have been, tried to follow the law, have been in public service for many years, and I have reason to believe that I fell prey to a large agency who just didn't like me.
We've interfered with the ability to speak.
London Bridge, London Bridge, London Bridge is falling down.
You think of something you can do, and we've basically interfered with it with this machine.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So what's the problem?
I don't know.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very daring, let's go to Terrorize and look for the head of the pit.